Lord have mercy, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how to sugarcoat this, but listen, this is the way it's going to be reported. It's going to be how it's going to be reported. But Colorado coach prime Deion Sanders, he took a loss, point blank period, man. When you lose two of these guys, one obviously in Wilkerson, who he spent some time with, and he actually had a message for him, on his way out. We all know Edwards was big time. This is a tough situation for Colorado, especially with these guys looking to, you know, accomplish something bigger than themselves this season. I think this is gonna be a problem. And Deion may have he lost some pieces now. Now McLean is one thing, because you kind of could see the writing on the wall pretty much the start of the season. But now with these guys, this came out of left field. It was reports, I would say, about 24 hours ago, that if I'm not mistaken, that Edwards was, reportedly could be a situation with him now Wilkerson. So it's just very sad. I'm trying to put this into words, but Buffalo's running back, former Jackson State running back Syveon Wilkerson entered the transfer portal. He will use his fifth year of eligibility elsewhere. Dylan Edwards is expected to go. Edwards was a four-star prospect and number 11th running back in the class of 2023. He chose the Buffaloes over offers from Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Nebraska, among others. Wilkerson had followed Sanders to Colorado from Jackson State as a member of the massive overhaul that saw Sanders add 86 new players to the Buffaloes roster, including 53 transfers. So you clearly see what happened with Deion. He ran roughshod. Like I said, he revolutionized the transfer portal. And now it seems like it's coming back to haunt him, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to Flight Sports for more news updates and more involving Coach Prime Deion Sanders. This is crazy. Like I said, it was 53 transfers, I repeat. After spending his first two seasons playing for Delaware State, he had a breakout campaign with the Tigers back in 2022, finishing with nearly 2,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 226 carries. However, Wilkerson saw far less volume while playing in Colorado. It was a pass-heavy offense. He recorded 53 carries for 190 yards and 3 touchdowns in 2023. Edwards led the team with just 321 rushing yards on 76 carries with 1 touchdown. Wilkerson and Edwards are joining 17 other Colorado players who entered the transfer portal since the spring window opened. That's in addition to the 12 players who had already entered their names in the database from November to March. So you had people hop, skipping, and jumping trying to get up out of Colorado. So, McLean tried to say clicks and things like that, but nobody wants to see a bunch of celebrities when you're on a losing streak. I think some of that needs to stop. If you are on a losing streak, continuously losing streak, it just seems like you can't get out of it in your way. Nobody wants to see Hollywood rappers and actors running around the locker room. It's just a bad look. That's one thing that I can agree with, to a certain extent. So I think that all in Jackson State, it was the gravy train. He was winning. So all of these people coming there tagging along, it was fine. But now it's getting problematic, you understand, because it's getting in the way of business, So it is what it is at the end of the day. Sanders, and the Buffaloes, they trying to bounce back. It was a heartbreaking year, back when he got to Colorado. It ended with a 4-8 record, despite. I want people to remember that game against TCU. You had people really sipping the Kool-Aid. After that TCU game, you had a lot of people thinking that Colorado was about to just run roughshod, and it seems it's just it didn't happen like that for whatever reason. Deion has to pick it up, in terms of getting them to where they need to get to. Because the Buffaloes, they don't have a lot of time, especially with this regime, and I do believe that he's trying to, you know, you got to change the narrative. We all know what Deion did as a player. We know what kind of guy he is, what kind of father. Nobody's questioning that. We know what he's doing in Colorado, what he's trying to do, attempting. And it was gonna be hard from the jump. Pardon me. It was gonna be hard from the jump for Colorado to navigate through all of these different things that they had to go through. Despite all of the pitfalls, we got to remember it was a glimmer of hope. Even when things was going downhill, they almost messed around and came back against USC. So it's a lot of takeaways here. So I'm not gonna say that it was all doom and gloom. Now, losing Edwards was tough because we know he made a series of big plays. Deion Sanders also had a message, for the mother of Wilkerson. I want to read that as well because he sent a pretty powerful message. He says that to Wilkerson, I love you and wish you the absolute best. If you need me, I got you. And tell mama I'm going to miss her and the family. God bless. So clearly it was a decision that just had to be made. It just is what it is at the end of the day. Deion Sanders, his name and cachet can only go so far, especially if you're not, his kids, at the end of the day. And a lot of people, I want to hear more when people leave, because I think we just getting just the tip of the iceberg here in terms of the way people feel about Deion Sanders in Colorado. I think the more and more they get further away from the program and they get locked in their next programs and stuff, I think we're going to really get an uncut version of what truly happened in Colorado, how they really feel, because things had to be sugar-coated, obviously. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Shout out to Deion. He's doing an amazing thing. He's revolutionized a lot of these kids' lives. He revolutionized Jackson State. He left them with an unbelievable facility. He don't get enough credit. It's just a whole lot of criticism. And for the most part, I think it's really unfair, because he's really special, and make sure you hit the like button. This was a tough call, but they're going to have to regroup. If there's anybody who could do it, Prime can. It's Flight Sport.